How does the news media, social media, videos, and domestic violence abuse connect with offender trends and patterns? These four avenues are actually environmental influences that can have an effect on the trends and patterns for future offenders and current offenders. How the news reports a crime, how public a social media profile is, the details and graphicness of a video, as well as a child witnessing domestic abuse, all come into play for criminal trends and patterns. The news media can have a huge impact on an offender and create a trend, which in turn creates a pattern. Let's explore the curious and horrifying case of Theodore Robert Bundy, also known as Ted Bundy. Ted Bundy was a serial killer in the United States who gained immense media coverage by the news upon his capture. He actually represented himself in court and used his trial to acquire more national TV time. Ted Bundy is not the only offender who used the news media to gain some infamy. Dennis Lynn Rader, or better known as the BTK Strangler, was another serial killer, and he used the news media to send out letters detailing his gruesome crimes against his victims. It is theorized that the news media coverage on criminals and crime can influence copycats of crime to emerge, or create individuals who become so fascinated with the news media's depiction of the crime that they create one of their own. Social media created an avenue of environmental influences for criminal trends and patterns that were not prominent 40 or so years ago. With the rise in social media and the amount of people engaged in it, it's no surprise that crime has spread its grips into this new form of socialization. Social media profiles offer offenders a way to gain loads of personal information about a potential victim. Sexual predators can create profiles online and engage in risky talk with children who are underage. From there, they can form a relationship with the child and convince them into meeting them in order to engage in sexual behavior. Providing information online, such as details of your home being vacant at the time, or personal information regarding yourself, is a huge risk and a potential avenue for offenders to victimize. Videos can also have a huge environmental influence on crime. Consider the popular video sharing website YouTube. The site is known to release millions of user-based videos yearly. However, there's a darker way to use the site. Gang members in Chicago comment on how they utilize YouTube to create music videos, and where they taunt and put down rival gangs within the lyrics. The video can influence the rival gang members to retaliate by either creating another video against the gang that started the altercation, or taking it to the streets with violence. This is just but one example of how videos can have an influence on offenders' trends and patterns. When looking into domestic violence or abuse as an environmental influence to crime, you have to take into consideration the family connections. Researchers have found evidence that links violence present in the household environment of children lead to the male children having a higher chance of abusing their family and the female children having a higher chance of becoming a victim of violence in their adulthood. It goes to show the importance of removing violence from the upbringing of children. This is a trend and pattern that can be stopped before the recycling pattern continues. There are many environmental influences on offender trends and patterns, however we discussed four today, those four being news media, social media, video footage, and domestic abuse and violence in family households. Each environmental influence holds value and why an offender would resort to the type of behavior they resort to. In the end, understanding the different environmental factors and influences helps us identify the patterns and trends and creates avenues in prevention, education, and elimination.